What's going on, guys? Bruce Matson here, your host show of Metro Scout Fantasy Football, and I want us to dig deep from Week 1 right now, talk about CeeDee Lamb, because there was a big impact in his player value. Last night did not go good for him or the Cowboys. The offensive line's broken. Dak Prescott's now broken. He's not going to be back for like 6 to 8 weeks out of the lineup. This offense doesn't look explosive. Lamb, though, had a 26.83% target share. During the middle of the game, it was in the 40s. So that type of target share is very interesting. However, currently right now, before the Monday night games start, he is sitting at wide receiver 72 with 4.9 PPR fantasy points. That is not good. That is not good at all. The targets are there. The workload's there. But everything else is not. And how are we going to project this going forward is probably a lot of pain. Cooper Rush in at quarterback. Offensive line not looking good. This is not a good look at all, especially in redraft. Redraft's just a sprint to the finish, and during the start of the sprint, you're going to start this one limping with CeeDee Lamb. One thing that could probably save him in some matchups, and you're not going to feel confident, you're not going to feel good, you're probably going to lean up with other players, is that target share, the target distribution. He will get the ball thrown his way, or should. We're projecting that, considering last year's totals, this year's totals, what's on the field. It may not even happen. We don't know what Cooper Rush is really going to do. We don't know if he'll lock in the Lamb at all. We don't know if this target share is still going to be there. But Dak will eventually be back. We got some clouds raining on us right now, but Dak will be back. Does that mean he's going to be a top-tier talent? Does that mean he's going to be that guy that we were hoping that was going to be a top 5 wide receiver? That's where his draft range was going to be at. That's not happening. That is not happening. The targets will be there. The volume will be there. He'll probably be very volatile from week to week, but it's not happening. This offensive line's too broken. Dak's having some troubles. He's coming back from that injury. This offense in the middle of the season when he comes back, it's not probably going to be looking good. And I don't see Lamb giving you the return on investment overall because this offense is broken. Also, in these first few weeks of the season, it's going to be a lot of pain for this whole team. It's not going to be looking good. They might be in some ways where they can get him fantasy production, and it might hit off and on, but you're not going to feel good about it. When we look at him as a dynasty asset, he's a very interesting player. He has been a very interesting player in dynasty fantasy football for a long time. He has been holding this top-end market value forever. It started to drop a little bit over the summer, but it's probably going to drop a lot now. It's probably going to drop a lot here today and in the next few weeks, especially if Cooper Rush really lays an egg during this time where he's the team's starting quarterback, because it's not looking good. And if his production's sitting at wide receiver 72 week in and week out, wide receiver 50-ish, Dynasty Gamers is going to react off that. Two things going to happen, or two things that I can say, is one, creates a good buying opportunity because you're going to get him at the cheap. Lately, when we're looking at the markets, go back and look at all the videos when I was talking about dynasty values of these players spiking and dropping. People get really reactionary. You can get a wide receiver like this dirt-free on the trade market in some leagues, not all leagues. All kinds of walks of life is watching these videos right now. It may not be your league, but it might be this guy's league, where you can get him for like a cheap 2023 first, maybe 2 seconds. I don't know, but I've seen some crazy stuff with Dameon Pierce. I've seen some crazy stuff with Isaiah Pacheco. And this dynasty market is just changing to be more redrafty. And it's really changing to be more quick on the reactions and overreact, underreact as well. And it's a lot different than what it was a few years ago. And in some leagues, you might be able to cash in on that. It really depends on who you're playing with. That's why we need to just test our league with trade offers a lot, so we know what happens when things like this happen. That's the best I can tell you. If you're interested in them, shoot some offers. You may be able to get better returns on those offers in the next couple weeks, or maybe even now. Just test it out and see what happens. But CeeDee Lamb's value is going to drop here pretty quickly. And Dynasty has been more reactionary as of the last year or so. Other thing, too, is he's been an asset that's held this value up here for a long time. And that drop may be a little steeper. Also, too, if someone says that he's been a bust in Dynasty, it really depends on how you look at him. Because if you're holding this top-end value for a long time, giving that fantasy manager that long time to sell, not really a bust because he's giving you opportunities to sell during that whole time. During that whole time, you could have used him to pivot to like a Jamar Chase. You could have used him to pivot down to a package of picks or whatever. Holding for this entire time, he gave you the option. He didn't just straight flatline to zero. So he was never really a bust in Dynasty. Production-wise, he did not live up to the value. But trade market-wise, he held it for so long that he gave you opportunities to move out. I've moved out on some of my shares through over the year, 6 months from now, over the summer. But I still have some, just diversifying from my assets. Just from that, I'm in a lot of leagues. I don't want to be overweight on any player in the league. So I really try to trade away, move around my assets. But let me know what you think about CeeDee Lamb going forward. Drop it in the comments. This is interesting times for this player in his career, for fantasy and also long-term fantasy formats. Let me know in the comments. Smash that like button on the way out. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Dropping videos left and right. I'll have more videos out today, I promise. And I'll catch you on the next one.